Dr. Thelma Dillard, a long-term member of our school board and local leader. Thelma, it's great to see you here today. Our friend Ed Jennings from HUD was not able to join us, but he has sent some very special representatives. I'd like to recognize Mr. Willie Taylor. He is HUD Region 4 Deputy Regional Administrator. You were just in town a few weeks ago, so welcome back. Also, Ms. Ada Holloway, she's Director of the State of Georgia Public and Indian Housing. Ms. Clementine Melvin, Deputy Director of Operations, the State of Georgia Public and Indian Housing. We also have a representative from DECAL, the Department of Early Care and Learning, Kristen Bernhardt. Kristen, welcome. You'll hear a little bit more about Pat Esser, our president, in just a few minutes, but Pat Esser has joined us fresh from Atlanta this morning. Welcome, Pat. Zach Leverins with Everyone On. He'll be speaking in a few minutes, but he's come down from Washington, D.C. to be part of today's special event. Zach. And then last but not least, Ms. Nancy Rigby. She's Vice President of Cox Foundations. So thank you to all of our special guests for joining us today. I just have to say, I love it when good things happen to great people. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to call Pat to the stage, and he'll start to share the good news about the great things that are happening for the people of Middle Georgia. But I want to take just a few minutes to talk a little bit about Cox Communications as well as Cox Enterprises before I dip into a few personal comments about Pat. First of all, most of you know us as Cox Middle Georgia, but I want you to understand we are part of a much larger organization. We have about 6 million subscribers across the country, both residential and commercial subscribers, and we are the third largest telecommunications company in the country. We are led by Pat Esser, whom you will hear from in just a few minutes. So while Cox World to us here in Middle Georgia is this local team, we are part of a much, much larger family of Cox companies. We're owned by Cox Enterprises. Much like Cox Communications, it's headquartered just up the road in Atlanta. And Cox Enterprises has several sibling brands that y'all might recognize: Kelley Blue Book, Auto Trader, Mannheim Auctions, Atlanta Journal-Constitution, WSB TV and radio. So we have a variety of business interests, and if you overlay the Cox Communications footprint with the Cox Enterprises footprint, you basically cover the country coast to coast with a variety of products and services serving a variety of communities. But one thing that you would find in common with any of these communities that you visit, there are two threads that really are one of the core values of Governor Cox, who is the founder of our company, and that is, first of all, our very unique culture, very focused on our employees. If you visit our offices, I think you will see it very quickly. And secondly, you'll see the investment in the communities that we serve. The places where our company has employees and customers, the places that they choose to call home, are places where we choose to make significant investments in our local communities. So again, it's a legacy of our founder, Governor Cox, carried out through leaders like Pat, and frankly through leaders like our employees right here in Middle Georgia, of who I am very, very proud. So let me talk just for a few minutes about Pat Esser. Pat has actually been with Cox for more than 35 years. He was named president of our company in 2006. As I mentioned earlier, he actually resides up in Atlanta. And as I was thinking about what I want to say about Pat, his professional accomplishments are remarkable. I could read you a list of those all day long, but there are two very personal comments I want to make because I think they're very germane to the news we're going to talk about today. First of all, Pat is a very proud father of 3 daughters. I would say 3 girls, but I think they're now 3 young professional women. And I have loved watching Pat speak to the company through the years because he talks a lot about how they have influenced him and they shaped his view on our products and services that we offer. And in particular, he's talked very eloquently about their use of technology. And so I think Pat brings to bear a very unique perspective as a dad, a very engaged dad, as well as the CEO of the 3rd largest telecommunications company in the country. And he has uniquely blended those, and I think what you will see today is a remarkable passion around digital adoption. He understands how important this product is. He sees it with his own kids, and he is absolutely committed that all families will have access to high-speed internet. And so when I say Pat is passionate, you will see it in just a few minutes. We have a program called Connect to Compete, which I'm sure many of you have already heard of, and this is Cox Communications' effort to ensure that families in need do have access to high-speed internet. So with that, I would ask that y'all please offer a very warm Middle Georgia welcome to our friend and our president, Pat Esser.
Good morning. Thank you, Lynn. I just told Lynn that was very kind of her, and probably says a lot about who I am. It's great to be here at the Museum of Arts and Sciences this morning, and what an incredible facility. As I pulled in here this morning, I was just so impressed, and I was talking with Susan about that. Thank you for hosting us here today. You've been a wonderful partner, as Lynn has said, and we're just excited to be here, both to be here at the museum, but also talk about some great news from Middle Georgia here this morning. It's also great to be back in Macon. Here back in 2012 was one of the first markets that we launched Connect to compete in. And I've got more good news about what we're going to do here in Middle Georgia. Now I'm going to go a little off script here. Since Lynn brought up my 3 daughters, one who's due in the next 5 days, so I have to keep an eye on my iPhone in case I get a buzz here that I have to go back to Atlanta, but I'm not leaving the meeting. 2 of my daughters teach. So I understand the importance of educators in kids' lives. And I'm going to talk about great technology today, but not for a moment do I want you to think that I think that technology can replace the role and importance of a skilled educator in a child's life. That is the critical element we got to make sure we always stay focused on. So understand, I'm going to talk a lot about our technology, the importance of connectivity, but I never forget the importance of a teacher in a kid's life. So in today's world where we talk a lot about access to computers and we talk about connectivity to the internet, I understand how they're important in supporting the role of a child in their classroom and how it helps set that child up for their career later in life. And I love the fact that the Middle Georgia community, along with Cox, share this vision of how we bring the two of these together, how important that can be for a young man or a young woman. You know, it's been important to us. We have the Connect to Compete program that Lynn talked about, and we see how it's worked and how it's played out in the schools and our communities and in the homes of young men and women who are trying to advance and compete in the classroom. And we're passionate about making sure these tools and this technology is present in our local communities that Lynn talked about. I was thinking back, here in Bibb County, the Bibb County school systems here happen to have one of the most innovative platforms in the country. There's a 40 gigabit network that connects to schools here, and it is one of the most advanced platforms in the country. And I'm very proud that that platform is a platform that Cox employees deliver, serve, support, and keep operating on a daily basis. It provides great opportunities for the kids in the classroom, but I'm not naive. The kids can't put that network in their backpack and take it home with them at night. Education has to extend beyond the classroom. And with great thanks to Bibb and Houston County Schools here in Middle Georgia, we've been able to bring Connect to Compete to the marketplace, and we've been able to bring discounted internet service into the homes of families who want to keep their kids connected. And somewhat, you could say, we help close the proverbial homework gap for those kids as they stay connected and keep competing and the progress in the classrooms continues. Now, when I look across Cox and across the markets that we do this in, we have over 100,000 people through the Connect to Compete program that use that on a daily basis to stay connected and compete in the classroom. And we're proud of that progress. I will tell you we have more work to do, and we're very focused on making that happen. It's probably why the entire Cox family is so committed to exploring new ways, new tools, new technology to help to continue to close that digital divide. And a little bit more than a year ago, we challenged ourselves. We said to ourselves at Cox, how can we explore more ways to get discounted computers into the homes in our communities? So along with Connect to Compete, you kind of have the triangle of things in place, the educators, the computers, and the technology or the platform to really make this work. And we started working with Zach, and you're going to meet Zach here in a few minutes, with everyone on. And he, along with Nancy, who I'm going to introduce in a moment, the James M. Cox Foundation, got together and crafted this plan. And we really pulled together what I'll call a pilot program. And I have great news for you today. This program is going to launch in Middle Georgia. So joining me here today to share the details of that pilot, that plan, is Nancy Rigby. Let me tell you about Nancy. She's the vice president of the Cox Foundations. And Nancy is the steward, really, of the Cox family of foundations, which funds initiatives in our communities where we do business all across the country. And it's things from environmental projects to health initiatives to education causes like the one that we've been talking about here today. And that foundation, what she worries about, ensures that Cox has a significant role in the communities that we do business in. And I want you to give her a nice warm welcome. And Nancy, thank you for coming down today. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Pat, and good morning, everyone. I'm truly honored to represent the James M. Cox Foundation. You've heard that the foundation was named for our founder, Governor Cox, who started our company 117 years ago. Before he bought his first newspaper, he was a school teacher. So we have a deep tradition of appreciating the value of education. And in particular, we understand the importance of language and literacy for early childhood development and how that carries children through success in their lives. That's why when we had the opportunity to partner with Pat and his team and Zach and for Connect to Compete, we were thrilled to make a gift to launch this pilot program, which we hope will be the first of many cities to come with Cox Communications and everyone on for Connect to Compete. So I'm delighted today to tell you that we authorized a grant of $288,500 for the 2-year pilot program to provide computers and to help launch this program here in Macon. And we're thrilled about it. Zach is going to give you details about the program. And so, Zach, would you come up, please? Thank you. He has all the details. We have the money. He has the details.
You can tell who's more important in that situation. Thank you so much, and Nancy, thank you for that introduction. Pat, thank you so much. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Pat and the Cox Communications team and their work on Connect to Compete in a moment. But I just want to take a moment and kind of celebrate this opportunity and this very specific opportunity, which is unique. It's a first of its kind to Macon. We've been doing this work for 3 years. We have a national program. I'll tell you a little bit about who we are, where we come from, where we're now going. We're agnostic as a nonprofit to specific companies or specific technologies even, but we've been working with a very singular focus on closing the digital divide because we now understand the costs and how tremendous and damaging those are to being outside of that digital learning and economic opportunity. And today, we've worked, connected hundreds of thousands of households, so nearly 500, 600,000 people over 3 years through this model. Nowhere has it worked with as much congruence and as much alignment of public-private partners and grants like this one that we're announcing today with the James M. Cox Foundation than it is here in Macon. It's a special opportunity, and by the way, the theme is really about leadership, I think, for me, when I think about how this is going to work and why it's working in Macon. And the whole nation's attention is on Macon when it comes to digital inclusion. Connect Home has just launched with the White House and with the Secretary of HUD, Secretary Castro, and that's also includes Macon. Lynn and I were talking about how the center of the digital inclusion universe seems to be Macon today, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the details of the program. But first, I think it's important to really understand one more level of granular detail on why this is so important. We live in a country where 60 million people still don't have home internet. Some of those people have smartphones, and I get that question a lot. Well, what about the smartphones? I don't know if any of you guys have tried to do a research paper on a smartphone, or if you've thought about the data plans you're using, and if you didn't offload to your home internet, would you be able to do much of anything beyond those 10 gigs or 5 gigs or 2 gigs in some cases, which is when you're lucky. A lot of folks in the low income brackets, which is disproportionately minority, which is unacceptable, are on pay-as-you-go cellular plans. So that's even more prohibitive, right? And the data supports this through work that Pew and NTIA and the FCC have done, as well as independent partners of ours like the Open Technology Institute. So take that startling fact that 60 million people do not have home internet, and then think about the future and the trends we've all been witnessing in education. Not only education, but in employment, in civic engagement, in the way that we think about communicating on every level of society, from the social entertainment side to the way we do our jobs every day. I'm sure many of you used internet today to get here, and at least the people who aren't from Macon. And some of us had to try to find our way here from Atlanta yesterday, and that also took technology in my case. So we have a digital learning transition that is happening across the nation. It's actually fundamentally changing the assumptions of how children are going to learn. It's the buzzword is anytime, anywhere learning, or blended learning. What that means is that instead of when I actually grew up in a place much smaller than Macon and more rural, but has the same kind of divide today in terms of digital inclusion. And when I was growing up, I didn't have the essential requirement to be connected. I could still take home books and be just as competitive as my more affluent peers somewhere else. Today, in this new model of digital learning, it's actually at the premise. If you can't have a flipped classroom, you can't create online homework assignments, you can't do projects virtually and learn about new cultures and places if you're not connected in and out of the school. So we're actually creating a potential risk here on deepening achievement gaps for our most marginalized students if we don't solve the home internet problem. Digital learning is good, but technology is neutral by itself. It comes with a responsibility to use it meaningfully and to make it equitable. So those two things combined create both a big challenge, but also an amazing opportunity, because never before has there been so much alignment in public-private will to end the digital divide once and for all. And never before has Macon had this opportunity to lead the nation when it comes to thinking about models that work holistically with community, with national partners, with really great internet and technology companies. So this is a really special moment, but it's a big challenge. The details. So we are working with one of the other problems here is that everything's interdependent, right? You can't have internet access without a device at home, because otherwise that's nice to have, but it's not going to get you very far unless you're connecting it to your microwave or something. I'm not sure how the Internet of Things is changing that landscape, but the reality is you got to have a device, you got to have internet connectivity, and then maybe most importantly, you got to have the meaningful content and skills that let you go use that to democratize opportunity and get to those jobs and to the education that is in the potential of the students we see here today. So we're doing all three of those things here. The grant that we just announced with the Cox Foundation allows us to make $30 tablets available to students in K-12. And the device itself is an amazing value. It comes with Microsoft Office, the Office Suite, the Windows operating system. It also comes with preloaded content that we've vetted from education content partners with a focus on early education as well as K-12 more broadly. So really great partners and existing grantees of the Cox Foundation like Read Right from the Start, but also national partners like Discovery Education and folks like ABC Mouse. These are a lot of times a paywall content subscription-based model, and they've waived those so that this is going to be preloaded for everyone who gets this tablet, and you have the C2C internet opportunity. So you've solved for the connectivity, you've solved for the device, and you've solved for the content that makes it available. But maybe the most important part of this grant is the subsidy on devices is number one, but number two, we have to have a local ownership and leadership process and kind of collaborative, collective participation from everybody, from the city, and we're really pleased to have the mayor here, from the PHAs, which are going to be leading the way with Connect Home, to the nonprofits and the schools. But we also know that that takes a lot of coordination. So we, with part of this grant, hired an amazing Macon regional director for the Connect to Compete program. That's Jessica Walden. She's going to be managing the day-to-day. She's going to be your point of contact, hosting enrollment events with each of you, and we want to get as much participation as we can, and also working directly with the families when they have problems and questions and concerns that aren't handled, or there's some confusion about where to direct them. We're really pleased and excited to have you, and what a valuable asset. So I guess in conclusion, my call to action to everyone here is let's seize this moment. Let's make this work, and let's prove that there's a model here with the leadership and back to that theme. I mean, this doesn't work without leadership. It has to be leadership at every level. That, over 2.5 years, is what's differentiated Pat and Cox and Amy and the team in each field office that we work with through the Cox C2C program from the other competitors who are also trying to make low-cost internet available. The proof is in the pudding, and as you heard, we have over 80% retention rates. We have people who are deciding they will pay and continue to pay for $10 per month internet, and they're succeeding with outcomes around education and employment that are just even way beyond what we imagined when we started to do this, and that's why we started to do it. I'll tell you one really brief story, which is we first did the first level of the pilot here in Macon. You might remember this with another great partner, the Knight Foundation. One of the stories that emerged, it was the first time I'd heard this, so it was shocking. I've now heard it maybe 25 times from other families. Darielle Bradley was a high school student, and she was able to take advantage of the C2C program. She's an amazing, dynamic person, but told me about how her mom used to take her to McDonald's to sit in the parking lot to try to grab the Wi-Fi so she could do her homework. And wow, she didn't realize, when that Google screen popped up for the first time in her home, how transformative that was. She went on to get a few scholarships through the online process, and that's the kind of success story that then continues into the employment space, into the family unit as you think about the next generation of success and trajectories. Let's do that again. Let's take luck out of the equation and make this about how Macon serves its own purpose. Come together. We have nonprofits. We want to get more of these guys, but we have nonprofits like the libraries here in the region. Some other great nonprofits that are based like United Ways, and we really want to make sure that we can get this to be local. So that's your call to action. Let's make this local, prove it nationally. Thank you so much again, and we're going to be here to take questions afterwards as well. I'd now like to introduce the superintendent, Dr. Curtis Jones, to talk a little bit about the school side of this thing.
Good morning. This is a great day for Middle Georgia, a great day for Macon-Bibb, and a great day for the Bibb County school system. It is truly a fantastic day. As you've listened to what this can provide, think of this. The idea of having cameras in the classroom so that we're able to let teachers flip the classroom so students can use this technology that we're talking about is going to be available for us. We have a SPLOST that was going to be on the ballot in November, and if it passes, this will make what Cox is providing for us a true possibility for every student. Just think about it. It will change and transform what we're about to do. So we're very excited about this. On behalf of our Board of Education, I want to thank Cox for the partnership, for what you're doing. A long time ago, I watched a TV show called The $6 Million Man, Lee Majors, and what they said is that we now have the technology. Cox is providing the technology for us to make a flipped classroom reality in Macon-Bibb. So thank you very much. President?
Let's just see who's next on the agenda, Dr. Jones. Oh, it's Pat. All right, Pat, come back up. Pat has some more good news to share with us.
I think what our plan is, if you're okay, is we'd like to have the students join us up here on the stage. Let's do that. That way we have something special for the students here today. Well, knowing their names, I don't know the kids' names. Don't open it yet, Adrian. Don't jump ahead of us. Just hold on to it. Emily? Sorry you're so heavy. I apologize if you were heavy. I apologize. It's Alex, yes. Alex? Here's Alex. Okay. Heavy. I apologize. Okay. Jada? Jada, Paris. This is. We all have personal notes too, so I know what each one. I know
Jada?
you each have one.
This is Paris.
Paris, Raymond.
Raymond, and Tashawn.
Okay.
And last one?
We have Tashawn and Raymond.
Raymond. There we go. I apologize. It's a little heavy. I apologize. Okay. You know, a lot of people in this room are here that are excited for you to succeed, not only in the classroom and in your community and in your homes as you do your work at night. And I think we all recognize the role, and I'm going to kind of jump through all my talking points here. But I want to share what happened. In the July board meeting at Cox Enterprises, I had probably one of the greatest moments of my 35 years with the company. I got to talk to the Cox family, the Cox board members, about something very special that I shared with them was going to change the life of a young man or young woman beginning in Middle Georgia. And I talked about what you're about to have in front of you here is today and what we want to do today. And that board, our board, the family, the Cox family, and executives from Cox Media, Cox Automotive, and Cox Communications all participated in this opportunity to build a legacy here in Middle Georgia, beginning with these kids on the stage. So you get the benefit by that moment. So here's the moment you want. If you want to, you can set the box on the floor. It may be easier for you, and you can go ahead and open the box. It may be easier, yeah. Each box has a personal note for the student from the board member or the executive at Cox. You were kind enough to share us information about each young man or young woman, about what their interests were in life, their favorite subjects, and they got an opportunity to talk to these students about that. And what they find in the box is a brand new portable computer with everything that Zach talked about. So what I look forward to is, to the parents and families in the room, this is another tool for them to get their work done. And I look forward to the day when some of these students will use this very laptop to put in their college application and start their lives. So I'm supposed to give you guys a directive. Here's the directive. With this gift comes some responsibility. Responsibility is work hard in school. My daughters want me to say this, listen to your teachers. It's important. I probably should say that to the families as much as I should to the students. Be active in your community and continue to succeed and grow like you have been. And we're so thrilled and excited for you. Thank you to the families. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for sharing your children and kids with us. We're as excited as you are about as excited as the kids are. It's a good day for them. They know what these mean for them. And to the school leaders, the educators, the teacher in the classroom, thank you. You do make all the difference. It begins with you. And we are committed at Cox to working with educators to make a difference in our community and providing the kinds of tools that our students need to succeed. So thank you for being here. With that, the mayor. Mayor, it's all yours. I got them all warmed up for you. Mayor, thank you for joining us today. It's great to have you here.
No, thank you very much. I am absolutely delighted to take just a minute or two to kind of close out this part with a huge thank you to Cox Communications for what they are doing, to the Cox Foundation, and a $288,000 gift to everyone to all of the different partners. Poverty is a significant problem in Macon-Bibb County. We are disproportionately affected by poverty. And poverty, unfortunately, has indirect but nevertheless insidious impact on young people that grow up in families that are in poverty. One of the ways that it impacts it is in education opportunities. The digital divide is real, and it's pronounced in families that are in poverty. So to helping to bridge that divide is huge. I think it was Zach that said that it was a big challenge, but we have an awesome alignment of partners here today. And just can't tell you how much I appreciate this and what a difference this is going to make in the lives of these children. One last quick story from me is we heard the HR manager from Kia over in LaGrange in the new Kia motor plant there. They said that they recognize that the workforce that they need in 10 years is in the 6th grade today. And how important it is for tomorrow's workforce that we have students that are connected, that are incentivized and enabled to learn and become the workforce that we're going to need tomorrow. So this is huge for Macon and Bibb County as we try to address the problem of poverty and to try to address the digital divide. I have a proclamation that I would like to present in honor of what's happening here today. Whereas digital inclusion is the incorporation of information technologies into the community in order to promote education and improve the quality of life, because using the internet has become a necessity to complete homework, search for and apply for jobs, connect with family and friends, and access government programs. And whereas teachers say that the internet has a major impact on their ability to interact with parents and on enabling their interaction with students, and whereas while nearly 2/3 of America's lowest income households own a computer, less than half have home internet subscription, and teachers of students from these homes say that their lack of access to digital technologies is a major challenge to incorporating more digital tools into their teaching. And whereas through this partnership with Cox, everyone on Macon-Bibb County Housing Authority, Macon-Bibb County, the Bibb County School District, the Middle Georgia Regional Library System, the United Way, and nonprofit enrollment partners serving our families in need, we want to connect all Macon families with low-cost internet, computer devices, and digital educational content. And whereas through the community partnerships, I know exactly what you mean, whereas through the community partnerships with Macon is set to lead the nation in successful digital inclusion in our household and fill the homework gap in digital needs for our students. Now, therefore, I, Robert A.B. Rickert, do hereby proclaim October 2015 as Digital Inclusion Month in Macon-Bibb County and urge all people to support digital inclusion in the home by spreading the word about this opportunity, taking advantage of the Connect to Compete and Connect Home initiatives, and hosting enrollment events in your neighborhoods. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand, caused the seal of the consolidated government to be affixed this 15th day of September. Actually, today's the 16th, but I did it yesterday, and I've signed this. But I want to say again, so thank you to Secretary Castro, even to the President for his initiative, for Ed Jennings, our regional supervisor from HUD, here today to witness this, to everyone on initiative, but especially to the Cox Foundation and to Cox Communications for making this a dream come true. We look forward to seeing you in the workplace tomorrow. Lynn?
Well, thank you, Mayor. I have the great pleasure of wrapping up today's event. I do want to extend a few special thank yous to the Mayor and Dr. Jones. Thank you very much for your exceptional partnership. I have to say that this company is as equally committed to digital literacy as the two of you are in your constituencies. I want to say a special thank you to Pat and to Nancy and to the Foundation's leadership. Thank you for your investment in Middle Georgia. I will prove to you this is going to be money very, very well spent. Zach, kudos to you for the foresight to pick Middle Georgia as the one pilot for this project. You are a very smart man. And we're going to prove you right in your decision. Jessica, welcome to the team. We're going to do great things together. I feel very, very good about this partnership and your leadership. To the students, I am so, so happy for you. As the mayor said, we're looking forward to great things from you. Please enjoy those computers and know that we wish y'all the very, very best in your futures. And we know you have to get back to school very soon, and I know you're anxious to do that, so I will talk very quickly. And lastly, I just want to say thank you to all of y'all for joining us for today's big announcement. I just want to let it soak in for 1 second what Zach said. Zach's comment was, Middle Georgia is becoming the center of the universe for digital inclusion. Those to me are very, very weighty words, and I have to say that there is no place on this planet that I would rather be at this moment in time than right here in Middle Georgia. So thank you for being here with me. Sir?
Dr. Jones, jump in here too. Let's do the. Here we go. Let's get Nancy and we're gonna. Don't worry. We're gonna get the students. Step right in here. Go ahead. We'll get you in. Go ahead, Dave. We'll get you in. Stand right here. We'll get a few. Here.
There we go.
Who has the camera? Oh. Back there.
Maybe you can just speak into it real quick.
We'll tell them.